All right. Welcome to our 12 hacks of Christmas. This is hack number 1, and this one is all about thank you pages or confirmation pages. So if you're building a lot of campaigns in Infusionsoft, you've probably ran into the situation where you have an email and you need people to click that email, and when they click it, you want to just take them to some kind of thank you page or confirmation page. There's really not a whole lot else for them to do there, but you need to be able to display something that makes sense for that particular page. So if you're building those thank you pages or those confirmation pages all the time, then that gets a little old and you start feeling like, man, why am I building all of these pages? And so what we did a few years ago is we realized, we can just create a dynamic page so that that page can adjust the content for whatever the scenario might be. So we build one page, adjustable content, and that way you don't have to be building pages all the time. So let's switch over to the screen here, and this will make a little more sense as we get into it. So here's an example page, right? Someone signs up for the factory, and we take them to a page. Welcome to the factory. We're excited to partner with you to help you build a more successful and profitable business. John, your partner success manager, will be in touch. So as you can see, this page is personalized, right? It's personalized to Sarah, and the message is unique to her situation. It's not just a generic thank you page. Now check this out. Up here in the URL, I can actually change this here. So we're going to jump over to where it says title equals, and we'll change what it says after title. So right now it says, welcome to the factory, Sarah. And by the way, Sarah can be merged in if this is coming from an Infusionsoft email, of course. We'll just say, in this case, thank you. So we'll turn it into more of a generic email or generic landing page. Okay, the thank you exclamation point, subtitle equals, and we'll just replace that whole thing with thanks for making a selection. Let's say it was an email where they had to choose something. They have 3 different buttons and they click on one of them. Thanks for making a selection. We'll be in touch soon. All right, so now I hit return. And you can see now that page, that same URL, so it's still the boxoutmarketing.com/success-dynamic, has now changed. Thank you. Thanks for making a selection. We'll be in touch soon. So I can change the title, what shows up here, and the subtitle, what shows up here, anytime I want. And so we just replace what those variables are. So title equals whatever, subtitle equals whatever. As you can see, this stuff all gets URL encoded, meaning the spaces turn into %20 and other characters turn into other weird converted things, right? But you don't have to worry about that because you can literally just put your mouse in here and replace what you want with whatever you want. Hi there. Welcome to our page. And then merge in their name, Tyler, right? Subtitle equals we're here for you. See, I'm not putting in any of that converted, URL encoded stuff. I'm just typing it in normal. The browser then, once I hit return, the browser converts it. Then I can just copy this. So I select it, I copy it, I go into my campaign, and I can paste that right in there. One thing I am going to want to do, though, is if I'm going to put a name in here, if I'm going to merge something in that's personalized, once I paste that URL into the email in my campaign, I'm going to want to change Tyler, of course, to a merge field. So it would be ~contact.firstname. Like that, right? And of course, now if I hit it like that, it's going to actually show that way on the screen, which I don't want. But if that's the link that I use in my Infusionsoft email, then Infusionsoft will convert that to the actual first name, merge it in, and pass it through in the link. Now, how do we do this? It's actually quite simple. There's 2 ways to do it. Server-side programming, which is PHP in this case because we're using WordPress, or browser-side or client-side programming, which would be JavaScript. I'm going to give you the code for the PHP version because it's really, really easy to do. So let's do this. I'm going to edit the page. I'm going to show you how this works. Don't be scared away by the code because it's really, really simple. So we use a plugin called Woody Snippets. Okay, Woody Snippets. And so if you look right here, Woody Snippets, and you can see the IDs here, 23486 and 23488. So if I go over here to Woody Snippets, I can go find those ones. See, I've got them called Success Dynamic Title, Success Dynamic Subtitle, and I edit this. So you'll want to install this free plugin called Woody Snippets. And then you're literally going to put this one line in here. you're going to echo strip slashes URL encode. So it's going to decode, or URL decode, right? It's going to decode all of that stuff and strip out any weird stuff. And then it's just going to present whatever you pass in the title onto the screen right there. Okay. And then same thing with your subtitle. So I've got a subtitle one here. Edit this one. And we've got the same thing here, except it's looking for the subtitle in the URL, right? So I get those little snippets, and then when you create those snippets, Woody Snippets gives you a little shortcode here, right? So here's my shortcode for this one. Here's my shortcode for this one. I come back into my page. Let's go back here to our page. Here we are. And I just use a text block. So whatever page builder you're using, it doesn't really matter. Here it's just straight text. I'm pasting in the shortcode, and I'm making that heading 1. Okay, so it's nice and big and bold. And then the next one I paste in for the subtitle, that Woody snippet. And that one's it's a standard paragraph, but I've obviously bolded it. And oh no, it's heading 3. Heading 3. And so there we go. So that's all it takes, really. And then you might want to add some additional calls to action or whatever. You've probably heard me talk about, don't have dead ends in your campaigns. When people click a link or they fill out a form, we don't want a landing page or a thank you page that's a dead end. And so you might actually add a call to action at the bottom of your page for things like that. So in this case, we've got a dual button at the bottom. It's still kind of generic, but they can either continue, which will just take them to the home page, or they can go to they can click on strategy session. Here, I'll take you back to the page where it'll make more sense. So continue or strategy session, that'll take them into a place where they can request a consultation with us and things like that. So that's the idea. It's really simple. I'm going to include the code and a link to Woody Snippets right here on the page where we're sharing this hack, so that you can just copy and paste the code and you can go get this WordPress plugin. If you don't use WordPress, then you can have someone code for you the exact same thing really, really simply. I wouldn't pay someone over like $25 maybe to say, hey, can you just code getting the title and placing it on the page here and getting the subtitle and placing it on the page here, whether it's server-side coding or whether it's JavaScript or whatever. It's all super simple for someone who knows what they're doing. So if you're not using WordPress and you can't use Woody Snippets, just hire someone for $25 or so, have them do that, and you're off and running. So hopefully that saves you some time and some effort in the future, so you're not having to create a bazillion thank you pages for all the different things that you're doing.